Good morning, team, and happy Monday. Mr. McCarthy here again with a whole new set of leadership insights, a whole new topic for us to cover. As per last time, I'm not exactly sure if this is going to be broken down into 4 or 5 or so, but it'll be something like that. And it's on a fascinating subject, one that's very relevant. I think right now, at Action, we are seeing a lot of growth and development, new schools, new teams, new leadership teams being set up, new schools being opened, new certification programs. And so the subject is operating states of a team. And operating states are the average or natural stages of development of a team. Or it could be an initiative. It could be as big as an initiative as opening a whole new school. Or it could be, the formation of a leadership team. But it's about that initiative or team being formed and how you can recognize the necessary stages of development of that team or a major program or initiative. So these operating states provide a set of principles or guidelines for effective management of such a team or initiative throughout its life cycle, because all of these things have life cycles. And they don't provide so much a formula for how to carry it out, but certainly a working knowledge and an understanding of operating states is really invaluable in leadership. Very much so people development and then management of projects at all scales. Like I said, it could be a big program or a key project at a school. And as always, not only relevant for our schools but for our lives. They're a sort of key tool for diagnosing the probable cause of breakdowns. Breakdowns are unexpected results. So you think something is supposed to happen, and when it doesn't happen the way that it's supposed to, that's a breakdown. And they tend to be very, very powerful for, again, when we're trying to drive breakthrough or transformational change. So there are 7 operating states. I'm just going to kind of briefly in this video give an overview of them, and then each week we'll cover 1 or 2. So the 7 operating states are formulation, concentration, momentum, stability, and mastery. That's the first 5. And think of those in an upward progression: formulation, concentration, momentum, stability, mastery. And the last 2 are emergency and danger. Think of those as it kind of sounds as being operating states moving in the wrong direction. So formulation, generating a new possibility, creating new sufficient relationships and communications just to fulfill that possibility. That's really what formulation is about. Concentration is then creating and implementing a structure for fulfilling, an initiative or a team, and then managing that structure with, those clear short-term goals, organizing the team around, the integrity of the team and the coordination of actions. The next stage is known as momentum. This is where you see expansion and creativity, defining new possibilities and opportunities for, again, fulfilling, these significant initiatives. This is where you're looking for and implementing ideas in a lot of different areas. And then comes stability. Stability is the operating state for really fulfilling those possibilities and establishing standard practices, for ongoing activity in a positive and productive way. Stability is also where we're generating new possibilities for future initiatives that extend, past the current one that we're working on. It starts where we start to look ahead. Mastery is defined as really knowing the source of success and being able to empower others to produce results. This is where you're really able to cause breakthroughs, right? Those really unpredictable, transformational changes, results that are not, predicated on past performance. So again, that's the first 5. I think for those working on, developing leadership teams as an example, they might start to sound familiar. And then comes emergency. Emergency is when forward progress of an initiative or a team stops or starts to trend in a downward sort of way. And, that happens before the final stage, which is danger. And danger is when that decline that began in the emergency stage becomes precipitous and accelerates at a rate where, the very existence of the team is threatened. So that's the 7 key stages. Again, think of these as, you can write them down, right? You can start to recognize them. You can start to drive from one to the next in a very practical and applicable way. There's some pitfalls for operating in these sort of operating states, because projects, as I said, life cycles, teams, they have life cycles, and human beings and teams often prefer a particular operating state, right? You get into a comfort zone. And again, I'm generalizing, but it makes sense. For example, suppose, entrepreneurs like the operating states of formulation and concentration, bringing new initiatives into existence, right? People who are kind of like turnaround experts, they might find the states of emergency and danger exciting, because that's, they like to be able to take those, problems and turn them around and, get that phoenix from the flames. People who like security, maybe the security of a large company as opposed to a small, exciting kind of startup, they might prefer that operating state of stability. But however, the caution is getting stuck in our preferred operating state, right? The one that we like to work in. Because if you like concentration, but it's time for that team to move on into the next stage of momentum, you may unconsciously sort of constrict the growth of that team. Or you may operate, more kind of hands off, as if the project was in stability when it really needs the hard work that's required of concentration. So that's it for now. Each week I'm going to talk about 1 or 2 of these operating states and how we move from one to the other. I'll provide a more detailed definition of each. That's really important, so that you can recognize when you've attained the operating state or when you start maybe to see it falling off. And I'm also going to provide the kind of key principles for each of the operating states, key behaviors, key kind of drivers for success in these. And I think if you start to apply them, particularly to the development of new teams and big initiatives, they're very, very powerful. So that's it for now. As always, I look forward to sharing, the rest of this subject with you. I think it's really fascinating stuff. Again, very practical, very applicable right now. So if you enjoy this video and the others, please hit like, hit subscribe, share with people that you'd like to share with. And as always, let me know if you have any comments. Bye for now.